Both fencers begin with a traditional salute. What we are about to witness is ultimately reflexes and speed versus experience and technique. The first to reach 15 will win the match. Red then lunges, but blue successfully parries left to right. Red retreats as a result. Although nobody has scored yet, we can already see red taunting blue. Blue goes in for an attack, but red successfully parries and attempts a riposte but fails and retreats again. Red attempts the advanced lunge and is extremely close as blue pushes red's blade upwards, hindering the attack. Now we can see red trying to outmaneuver blue's blade. Blue now seems to realize he's at the end of the fencing strip here, and instead leans back to escape red's oncoming barrage of attacks. Yet another lunge attack from red. Blue leans even further back and is forced to parry, swiftly striking down red's blade. After the series of attempted attacks, red temporarily retreats before beginning a new series of attacks, but while doing so does what's called a beat, or a strategic tap of the opponent's blade in order to feign an oncoming attack, thus putting the opponent on the defense again. Red, after taking a short break, realizes that blue has been pushed to the very edge of the strip and takes advantage by going in for an even steeper lunge to finally score the first point. Blue attempts to parry, but the inability to move back results in the inevitable chest hit we just saw. After a long back and forth, red takes the first point of the duel. However, that victory may be short-lived as red becomes seemingly overconfident now and is carelessly caught in a riposte, where blue knocked red's blade out of the way and immediately went for red's exposed chest. Red points the blade downward, possibly to seem as if he's going for the foot perhaps, causing blue to instinctively move his foot away. Blue steps back with ease and now counters with his own attack. However, this attempt is quickly thwarted as red deflects the blade, causing blue to quickly retreat. Red goes in for the attack but falls short as blue barely averts the thrust by falling on his back foot and immediately counters by scoring right below the chin, putting blue in the lead 2-1. As we can quickly start to see, blue's natural style appears to be more defensive and relying on counterattacks that exploit vulnerabilities since more areas of the body become exposed. Red, on the other hand, appears to be a naturally offensive player, seemingly more comfortable on the attack and taking risks, such as lunging, which open up the body but allow for more opportunities to score. Red takes a huge lunge, determined to close the point gap. Blue leaps back with ease and parries the following attack. However, red's plan does not end there. Now expecting blue to quickly counter with his own attack, red changes directions and goes for a clever thigh shot that also successfully diverts blue's blade. Red lurches forward without wasting a second, catching blue off guard and not giving him a chance to step back in time, thus resulting in a strategic arm shot. Now it's blue's chance to catch red off guard. While blue may not have the experience red does, he certainly has the speed to potentially make up for it, which could be problematic for red if he doesn't figure out how to respond. Once again, in slow motion, blue, without hesitation, strikes red in the chest, leaving red stunned. Red brazenly leaps forward, but halts midway to fake the lunging attack, thus conserving his own energy, not risking a counterattack, and pushing blue slightly back. This gives red time to think about areas to target, leading him to take advantage of the exposed part of blue's arms here. Red appears to be more cautious now, not wanting to lose his current lead. Blue is definitely more active with good footwork. A clean parry by blue. Red lunges forward and misses, quickly follows up, but blue yet again evades the attack. A quick beat on the sword by red. Blue now tries to take advantage of the space red has opened up by advancing. Red, now aware of this, seeks to push blue back to the edge. Blue's skilled maneuvering and footwork appears to leave red puzzled, trying to figure out a new strategy. Blue attempts to surprise red by countering off the parry, but finds that red was prepared for this move and narrowly beats blue by hitting her. Red motions for blue to attack him by openly exposing his body. A preemptive beat by blue to divert a potential lunge attack. Both fencers now sidestep with the intention of confusing each other. Another successful evasion by blue. Now here, red actually manages to hit blue's ungloved left hand right as he was going in for the chest. While being a seemingly sneaky point grab, this is still legal in the rules of fencing, as blue made the mistake of bringing his left hand too close to the body. We can now start to see how red's actual fencing experience is coming into play for situations like these. Attempted headshot by red, but blue steps back in time. Red then does what's called a flush attack, where one brazenly charges at the opponent arm outstretched with no regard to defense in the hopes of scoring first and relying on the opponent to not be able to counterattack in time. Being the first time of employing such a strategy in the game, red walks away with the point. Red, now with a sizable lead advantage, just has to maintain this margin, to which we may see a change in strategies to accomplish this. Blue, on the other hand, has pressure to turn things around, and therefore even more pressure to change strategies. The first couple seconds have gone by and red hasn't taken a lunge yet. This could mean red is now strategically taking the back seat, either to conserve energy or due to the lack of it. This is the first double touch of the game. As you can probably imagine, such an event only occurs when both fencers land a hit within a minuscule margin of milliseconds, which is exactly what happened just now. In the long run, however, double touches usually prove to be more beneficial for the fencer in the lead. The score is now 4-8. The question now is, will blue be able to close the gap? Blue is carefully studying red, scanning all possibilities, looking for an opening. Blue finally finds his opening and seizes it, hitting red's open stomach with accuracy. If blue can keep this up, the gap will be closed in no time. Clean carry and good footwork by blue so far. Solid shoulder shot by blue with good timing, and here we can actually see that red was going for an elusive leg shot which narrowly missed its target, causing red to now pay the price. Now 2 consecutive points for blue, making up for some of the lost points. If he can avoid double touches and continue taking points like these, slowly working his way up, this could put red in a tight spot. Red, knowing that his experience advantage also gives him an endurance and stamina advantage, now seeks to tire out blue, which could pay dividends later on. Blue takes a stab at red's wrist but is quickly inhibited by skillful disengage by red, which involves a versatile wrist movement, causing the blade to encircle the opponent's blade, and allows for a counter strike. However, red isn't able to accurately counter the following disengage because of blue's fast recovery. Unfortunately, it appears blue has stepped too far back, having a complication with the wires from the rear. While blue was seemingly distracted, red saw a nice opportunity for a low chest shot, putting the score at 9-6. Red backs up, baiting blue to come forward and possibly preparing for a flush attack with more than enough sprinting room. As expected, red charges and catches blue right below the chin. Red rushes in, purposefully getting blue to react. Blue, now down by a 4-point margin again, has to change something fast. The combination of his fluid footwork, speed, and unorthodox style are now blue's best and possibly only chance at recovery. Advanced lunge by red but falls short. Red takes advantage of the width of the strip, stepping to the side to achieve a better angle. Blue narrowly eludes red's thrust by leaning back. Blue attempts a chest shot, but red promptly knocks the blade to the side while stepping back. Red aims for the right shoulder, but blue leans to the left, dodging the shot. A beat on the blade by blue. Both fencers engage in a short standoff, waiting to see who will react first. As expected, red acts first by performing a disengage. Blue backs up in time and counters back with a clean hit to the upper chest. Some strategic beats from both sides. Another brief standoff, with red breaking off first and blue stepping back. Red, with a bold display of audacity, entices blue to attack, with the intent of catching him on the forearm, possibly if he rushes in. Red appears to be carrying out a sort of staggered attack, with a series of bluffing moves encompassing one genuine attack, overwhelming blue with consecutive false alarms and toying with his defense. Here comes the real ambush from red, the second flush attack of the duel. Only this time, Blue was better prepared for such a tactic and parried downwards just in time to redirect Red's blade between his legs instead, and actually score a point for himself on the right foot, as we can see here. Red appears to be more relaxed, possibly to lull Blue into thinking he's let his guard down. This plan appears to have been successful, as Blue was lured to attack, only to be caught under the arm right before striking Red. Attempted disengage by Red, but Blue jumps back to avoid the maneuver. Red steps in for a lunge, but Blue effortlessly neutralizes the attack with a parry, driving Red's blade up towards the ceiling. Excellent combative techniques from both sides. We can see a fierce, ongoing battle with Red furiously seeking to penetrate Blue's defenses, but Blue tenaciously locks Red's blade in place by effectively using his bell guard to hinder Red's sword movement. Both fencers take a shot at each other while retreating, but end up barely missing. As both fencers reset, Red quickly takes initiative by knocking Blue's blade down to deter incoming attacks. Red lunges again, and as we've seen, Blue's reflexes and instincts safely remove him from danger. This time, Blue tries to score, but is quickly met with resistance as both bell guards meet once again. After a cutthroat clash resulting in no points being scored, both fencers cautiously separate. As the round drags on, Blue appears to become impatient and rushes forward with a flush attack, wanting to end the round. Consistent with the risks of this tactic, Blue disregards his own defense in order to catch Red off guard. Unfortunately, the plan did not work in Blue's favor this time, as Red catches Blue on the bicep just in time as he comes in. After perhaps the most intense round of the bout, we may start to see fatigue factor in for both fencers, especially Blue, given the enormous disparity in pure hours spent fencing. Red again dares Blue to take a shot, and now actually misses the attempted beat here. Blue bounds forward, now desperate to make up the lost points more than ever, but the impulsive decision to chase Red even after Red has backed out of the danger zone allowed for Red to reach out while treading backwards and catch Blue as he's moving in. Blue has some serious ground to cover if he is to have any chance of coming back, as the point gap stretches to 5. Blue is now visibly wary and cautious as ever, not wanting to give up any more points. Red, on the other hand, appears unconcerned and relaxed. Perhaps Blue's plan is to wait until Red becomes reckless and then attack, using his overconfidence against him. As we've seen before, Red briefly angles the blade downwards at the opponent's feet and back up, followed by a traditional lunge, which Blue manages to dart away from by the skin of his teeth. After patiently searching for an opening, Blue finds one at last, snatching a point from his shoulder hit with an impressive show of speed. Blue now trails by 4 points, but if he can continue progressing with the fencing we just saw, it won't be hard to catch up. Blue once again, vigilant and alert, constantly staying on his feet. Red is hoping to slowly push Blue to the edge of the strip again and corner him, now realizing Blue's reluctance to attack due to the fear of losing valuable points. Blue, becoming increasingly fearful of taking risks, resorts to attempts at short-range arm shots, being unsuccessful for the most part. It is during one of these attempts that Blue carelessly concedes a point due to the inability to re-establish defense. Things are certainly looking grim for Blue here, seeing as Blue can't afford to lose any more points or even double touches. However, as we all know, Red was expected to win from start to end, being the experienced fencer with the odds stacked immensely against the 5th-time Blue fencer. Blue, now presumably more confident, has nothing to lose at this point and appears to have let go of the previous tension. Just as we have seen before, Blue is carefully analyzing Red, waiting for the right opportunity. Now aware that brash moves can lead to double touches, which he can't afford, Blue waits for Red to overextend in order to counter to avoid the double touch. And just like that, Blue counters perfectly as Red comes in, hitting his arm at a downwards angle before Red can reach Blue. Both fencers are in double digits. Red now a little more worried about Blue's advance. The pressure is now on Red to put an end to the match. Blue aggressively parries an attack from Red. However, Red appears to have miscalculated, thinking he scored the point, when in reality, the tip of his blade only grazed Blue. Blue then scores by jabbing Red in the lower stomach before he can respond, putting the score at 11-14. Seeing as only a 3-point gap exists now, Blue has already pulled off the improbable, pushing Red into an increasingly uncomfortable position. Ironically enough, both fencers appear to be more cautious than usual, given that the match could be over any second now. Blue is obviously hesitant as Red is merely 1 point away from 15, but Red is also afraid of Blue's rapid progression, not wanting to deal with the uncertainty of a win-by-2 situation. Blue daringly slashes at Red's wrist with the intent of pushing Red to back up. Red instead lunges, seeing the missed wrist shot as an opportunity. Luckily, Blue is able to recover in time to parry, causing Red's blade to veer upwards, but Blue can only keep this up for so long. After a tense impasse, both fencers unintentionally attack simultaneously, with Red initiating just barely before Blue. This minuscule time margin advantage allows for Red's blade to be on the inside first, thus pushing Blue's blade out to the left and facilitating a direct hit to Blue. Overall, an exceptional and interesting match put on by both fencers, with Blue putting up a good fight, being the underdog, and Red showcasing technique and experience. If you guys enjoyed that, please leave a like for support and subscribe for more content. Thank you guys so much for watching.